Did anyone ever study an alligator, crocodile, and wonder how they survived so many hundreds of millions of years? Thick skin, almost impervious to pain. That is an element that I think is so necessary in this day and age to be successful. Talent, all right, that's a given. You have to have some of that. Ambition, yeah, you got to have a hell of a lot of that. And this fear of failure, good helping of that, certainly inspires one to get out of bed in the morning. But the most important thing is the alligator hide. You have to be able to take criticism. I believe that some of the most talented people in the world fail because they can't take the criticism. They're too sensitive. Their artistic part of them just can't withstand the withering intellectual verbal bullets that rip them to shreds. In other words, criticism. Believe me, I was told 1,000 times, well, not 1,000, but a few hundred, you're not cut out for this. You slur, you're this, you're that. We can't fit you into any kind of category. You should really quit. Seriously, you know what? You should work behind the scenes. And I went, well, yeah, thank you for that. But everything you're saying is bouncing off. It's like bulletproof, Kevlar. And that's what I'm trying to pass on to individuals, that you have to be able to be like a solid tree. You hear that hammer in the background? That's, yeah, guess what? People are working on the house, thank God. But getting back to the subject at hand, if you really develop this numbness, this inability to develop selective hearing. I don't want to hear it. I don't want that to dampen. I don't want you to rain on my parade, put out my fire, whatever term you want to use. It's the same thing. Don't be so sensitive to criticism. I've lived with it my whole life. Most people have, and most people give into it. They actually believe those words from other people. Believe the words that come from inside here. This is the greatest voice in the world. Your heart doesn't lie. Your brain, your heart, it tells you the truth. It really does. But quite often, we don't have that commitment to our own individual, what is the word I'm looking for? The individual commitment to succeed at all costs. You have to be so committed to the cause, blindly charging into the building. I don't care if it's on fire, because that's like what the future is sometimes. It's like going into a burning building. You don't know what's going to happen, but you hope you come out the other side, because your goal is on the other side. Anyway, I don't know if this touches home, but I was asked that question the other day in an interview, and I just wanted to pass it on because I think it's a very, very important element to arriving at your destination. That's my opinion. Be an alligator or a crocodile, whichever one you prefer. Ciao. Okay, here I go again, putting in my 2 cents. Everyone has 2 cents to put in, and everyone's philosophy quite often is kind of designed to help you get through life as we know it. But I was talking about alligator hide, and you have to be tough like that, and resilience to be able to ward off negativity. I mean, people have said to me, words don't mean anything unless they're true. That's not true. Words hurt. Words are the same as a thorn on a rose. They look nice, but boy, some of them can really hurt. But what you really need to work on is juggling. Life is one big juggling act. It's like, how do you keep all these objects going around? And then when you drop a few, you got to pick it up again. But it's juggling. You juggle happiness with grief. Grief, for example. That's a rough one. Because grief never goes away. It sort of rises into the clouds, you might say. It sort of seems as though it's diminishing. And it does. Until something brings it back, and therein is the cycle. That's why quite often I find therapists for certain individuals, a fruitless exercise, because quite often these problems can't be extracted. Bad memories can't be pulled out and diminished. They're there. You just have to balance it. Say, okay, am I going to be caught in this time warp called the past? Because quite often, let's face it, your problems are from the past. If you didn't get the attention you wanted in the first 5 years, being nurtured, you're going to have a problem for the rest of your life with nurturing and feeling secure. For example, I feel, and it's been proven, that nurturing and compassion and love and protection at a very early age, meaning when you're an infant, is more of a priority than food. And when you don't get that when you're young, you crave it your whole life. And quite often, it's also an incentive to do something with your life, to fill it up with some sense of accomplishment, or it's a release for anger, whatever it is. Quite often I have found that the most damaged people have been the most productive. I know it's a horrible thing to say, but people that are missing chunks in their heart, gaps in their soul, because they weren't given the love and attention when they're very young, that can't be compensated for. Those are holes. Those doors are shut. So it's up to you to lay the groundwork for your future, to not do what other people did to you. So it's juggling. So here's to you all, keeping all these objects in the air and knowing that it's never perfect. I've come across some of the most miserable people that have everything except what is truly important, and that is peace of mind and going forward without fear. Fearlessness. It's not easy. Sometimes you have to lie to yourself. Oh, I'm not afraid. You're terrified. But sometimes lying is good. If that helps get you up those first 3 steps into the ring of life to face an indestructible opponent, so be it. Lie to yourself. Sometimes lying gets the ball going. Anyway, keep juggling.